Hey, hey.
Tobago updates. Na, 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na, 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 na. Wake up with Kandace and Denise.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, viewers. Now, I am being joined by Officer Stewart, who is Stewart-Duncan, right? Officer Stewart-Duncan, who is going to talk to us this morning about about a very exciting weekend that we have coming up, which is Republic Day weekend, and just all the activities that's going to be happening. So she is going to be giving us all the tips and the things that we need to know ahead of it. So good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning. Good morning to your viewers. Thank you so very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right. So first of all, what are we looking at for Republic Day? We know the big celebrations are happening in Roxborough.
Yes.
And there are going to be some traffic restrictions in place.
Yes. Now, one of the privileges Tobago has is that it's the only part of the country that has a Republic Day parade. Nowhere else has that privilege. So this year, as has been happening in the past few years, there's going to be the parade starting at 9 a.m. and it should finish maybe around 10:30 or thereabouts. Of course, with that comes some restrictions. I know the motoring public don't really like to hear about these restrictions, but for the safety and security of the troops, we need to make sure that we have to put these security arrangements in place. Starting, the parade falls in at Lamy Road in Argyle, and it commences at 9 a.m. Now, there is a bridge, I think, that could have been accessed from Kendall, and that is not accessible. So what would happen is that the motoring public would be allowed to traverse the Windward Main Road until the parade starts. So once the parade starts, once they've left the Lamy Road area, traffic would be diverted through Lamy Road and then to come through what is called the Cocoa, come back out on Bloody Bay Road and then go over Station Hill. And once they get to that point, they would be allowed to traverse further east. However, that would come to a halt once the parade gets to that point, because the parade leaves Lamy Road, heads east to Prince Street, makes a about turn and comes back and ends at Sid Gray Stadium. So once, of course, because the dynamics of Roxborough is so, in terms of access,
the roads are very narrow.
Exactly. So given that, what we've decided is that once the parade gets to that, where the old gas station is, once the parade gets to that point, of course, we'll have to close off the road there until they make that U-turn and have done and they're on their way back down to Sid Gray, and then the motoring public would be allowed to access the further east, or those coming from east would have to go over Station Hill and come down the road.
So if you are traveling, let's say you're not attending the Republic Day celebrations and you just want to go up to Charlottesville, Speyside, wherever, just to relax with your families, what type of disruptions can you expect?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Providing you have to be a bit patient with us, because like I said, the roads up there, one, they're very narrow and they're very limited in terms of alternate routes. So that's why we're saying to persons who will be going up that way before 9 o'clock, you can, well, I would say safely before 8:30, you can access the Windward Main Road.
And this is up until what time?
Until about 8:30, right? Once the parade starts, because the parade is going along the Windward Road, so we would now divert them through Lamy Road. And they would go through the Cocoa, come through on Bloody Bay Road, and then go over Station Hill. So it's going to be a bit of delay, except you want to move very early. And once you move early, then you should avoid all that.
And so the parade would end at what time?
Roughly around 10:30, I would estimate.
So if you're going to be traveling up that side around that time, just be aware. Just be aware.
Yes.
So now during the day, there's going to be the activities that are happening on the jetty.
Right. So what would happen once the parade ends? We would reopen the roads. Right. Even in the night when there's going to be the fireworks, the road would reopen. However, we'd have no parking signs.
I think we need to emphasize this.
Yes. No parking signs along the Windward Main Road. So you can flow freely, but understand that there's no parking along the Windward Main Road. I would not want the record to go with anyone's vehicle. So we just kindly ask that you just be reminded.
So the
that
record is going to be in Roxborough.
we are going to put systems in place to ensure that that is there. Yes.
So folks, you have been warned. So just be mindful of where you park. And just for a little bit of advice, like where can people park safely?
So I know there is parking somewhere in the vicinity of Renaissance. Yes. So that one, again, you have to get up there early in order to access those places, because once the road is closed off, you can't access it unless you come through the back. And parking would then be you can find parking somewhere in the vicinity of the gas station opposite Sid Gray, but you have to pass all the way through the back in order to access there. Yeah. Right.
So okay, so we're gonna have it after the activities at the jetty. Now we move to Sid Gray for the main event, the little concerts and fireworks. What's in place there?
So that's what I'm saying. That the road will be open once the parade ends. It opens. It remains open for the rest of the day, right? But the no parking signs will be used in order to manage the traffic flow. Again, the roads in Roxborough are relatively narrow. Yeah, so we need to make sure that people just work with us and abide by the rules that we're providing. We want you to have a good time. Yes, the parade is going to be there. There's going to be 3 armed detachments on the parade with 11 unarmed. You're going to have the mounted and canine on parade, which is not something you see for Independence Day. You're going to have the motorized detachment, that sort of thing. So it's going to be a fantastic parade. We just encourage you to just work with us, yeah, because yes, we know it's sometimes challenging for us to get our duty done if we don't have that support from the members of the public. So we're encouraging them, work with us so that we can be able to all have an enjoyable day and a safe one.
Let's talk about some features of the parade, because this is where the police, the fire, all of our forces get to come out in grand style.
Yes.
And you mentioned the canine unit that's going to be out. How big is our canine unit in Tobago?
It's not very big, but we should have at least 4 to 6 dogs, I think, should be on parade. Yes. But remember, Mounted and Canine Branch is Trinidad and Tobago. They just have a few dogs attached to Tobago, but they form a part of a bigger unit. And we are going to be using some of those dogs on the parade this year, because we didn't have that last year.
So are we going to have any bit of the mounted?
Yes, they're
going to be there.
Yes. They should. I'm not sure when I think they should be here by the end of by Friday or something like that. Yeah, but they will be here. They were there last year. Yeah, so, and I know the children especially love to see them. So we made sure arrangements were made so that they could be here once again.
Great.
Yeah.
Tell me about, just being able to be part of the parades and being able to do this for the people here in Tobago on Republic Day. Right. What does that mean?
I think, like I said, Tobago has the privilege of being the only place that has that parade. And I think it brings a sense of pride when you are on the parade to be able to show off your section or your department, for want of a better word, to show off that, this, I am representing the police service, I am representing the regiment, I am representing the fire services, The only thing that's different as it relates to the parade, the Republic Day and the Independence, is that whereas Independence Day we wear white tunic, this one we just wear our regular uniforms. Yeah, so you get to see that. This year, to the police service, unlike previous years where we would have had 2 detachments, God bless you. Unlike this year, we're going to have solely females on that parade. Yeah, and I know the public also love to see female officers on the parade. So we're going to have a detachment of only women, and I think that should be something we should be, look forward to.
Is there a difference in the atmosphere and the feeling between Republic Day parades and Independence Day parades at Tobago?
Again, the fact that it's the only one, that gives it a difference. Yeah. But of course, it's a long trip. That's one thing for sure. And both of them, this particular parade does not have a parade ground per se. Like it won't start at a parade ground as happens with Independence Day. So this is a route march. So you go up to Prince Street, come back down to Sid Gray, and then you end there. Of course, the chief secretary is supposed to be on hand to take the salute. Yes, so all of that is in place.
All right. Is there anything else that the public should be aware about in terms of Republic Day?
Well, I would think I don't think there's anything else. All I ask is that the members of the public work alongside us, follow the directions of the police officers who are doing conducting traffic. Yes, so that we don't have any issues. You know, and that should make, because we're not trying to prevent anybody from enjoying themselves, but we just need to make sure that everybody's safe. So just adhere to the rules and, you know, and the instructions that you're being given when you're traversing the nation roads.
And even though that there will be quite a lot of officers in Roxborough on Republic Day, could we expect other officers to be in patrol around the rest of the...
Of course, it would be foolhardy of us to leave our stations unmanned and to leave the other place, because not everybody is interested in the parade. Some persons may choose to take the day to go to the beach, and we still need to make sure and police the rest of the island, right? So, like I said, it's one detachment on parade, so it's not as though we're taking the whole of the division to put them on parade. Even though some officers are responsible for traffic duty, the strength would not be so much that it would hinder us from being able to effectively police the rest of the island.
And would we be able to see any of our colleagues from Trinidad coming across?
I'm sure with the other detachments, for example, perhaps the prison service, I'm not sure to what extent the fire service may have persons coming across. But of course, the mounted are from Trinidad, well, they operate solely in Trinidad, so they will be coming across. So I can say that much, yeah.
Has the Tobago police given any thought to having a mounted branch in Tobago as well?
Well, that is beyond the Tobago division per se. That is something for the Commissioner of Police to address. I don't know to what extent that has been discussed at that level.
All right. Now, there are some other things that are coming up in the police space. Yes. Could you just give me an idea of just some of the things that the public can look forward to?
So one thing I want to particularly mention is that we have a community justice clinic that is coming up next Saturday. That's the 30th of September. It runs from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Shaw Park Complex. I know they had a community justice clinic a few months ago here, so this is a repeat. What this affords members of the public is free legal services, right? There are some attorneys who have offered their services pro bono, and they are going to be coming to Tobago. They've been moving around Trinidad and Tobago, so they're going to be in Tobago next Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And some of the things that you can have addressed would be issues concerning divorce, domestic violence, matrimonial grievances, custody access, maintenance, anything, civil issues, or any private matters that you want to speak to an attorney on, it's going to be available for free. And if you want more information, you can contact 480-1421. That's 480-1421. So I would encourage members of the public to, you know, access this service. Yes, free. It's free.
Is it that you have to make an appointment to come to that, or you can just come in?
I don't know for sure if you have to make an appointment, but I would advise that you can call the number 480-1421 and seek any additional information. But I would encourage persons who, because attorney fees are very high, yeah. So if you're getting an opportunity to access a service for free, then I would encourage persons to tap into this. And I know that in the Tobago space, we have a lot of issues when it comes to land disputes. Yes, I know we have a lot of reports where that is concerned, and it would be good if persons who are in such situations would tap into that resource that is available to them for free.
Now, as you touch on the land issues, I know that sometimes the police can be limited in what they can do about it. And just for clarification, because I know, like you said, I know you get the calls all the time, but what should people be aware in terms of the power of the police in these circumstances?
So I wouldn't, okay, I wish I had some notes to be able to give you details, and I don't want to give you information and give you limited information. So on my next visit, I would make sure and come prepared with all of that so that they can be provided with that. But I would again want to encourage that they access the service. Access the service. It is for free. You see how many times I'm saying it's for free.
It's for free, yes.
Yeah, and I know how we as a people, we like to, but it's 8 a.m. I know it's a bit early because I know on a weekend the Tobago population likes to move a little late. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's just 5 hours. Make the sacrifice. It would benefit you in the long run.
And then what can we see them return again to Tobago? Is there a plan? Is this going to be something that's going to be happening more often?
All right. So this is conducted by the community-oriented policing section, which operates out of Trinidad. So at this time, I don't have that information as to when they will be coming back, but I know they were here a few months ago. So as the information comes, we will put it out in the public domain. But I wouldn't suggest that people wait until they come another time because you don't know how long that will take. Beat the iron while it's hot, that's what we say.
Yes.
So I would say it's there, take advantage of it. Yeah.
I know the police just recently had a health fair for their officers.
Yes.
Can you give us an idea of how did that go?
I understand it was I wasn't here, I wasn't on the island at the time, so I couldn't access the facility. Yes, much to my regret. But I understand it was well attended, and it wasn't just for police officers, it would have been for their spouses and children and so on. Even the youth club members were allowed to access the service, right? Because, we are in a very stressful environment, and sometimes you can become so consumed with the work that you don't take time to take care of yourself. So, the health service being offered in that regard would have been a privilege, and, for a lot of officers. Yeah.
And how are officers coping at this point in time with the stress? Because I know there's a lot of focus right now in our country, especially in light of a domestic situation that occurred in Trinidad not too long ago.
Right.
Like what's been going on within to make sure that you all can continue to be strong and continue to do to serve the purpose that you're there for.
Okay, so one of the pillars of the strategic plan speaks to officers' well-being, health and well-being. Now, the services are there. We have we have a medical a hospital in Trinidad. We have a doctor here in Tobago. We also have the employee assistance program where you have social workers on board. However, at the end of the day, it's everybody's responsibility to access those services. The services are there. So if you are the one to now take control of your health, mental health, as well as your physical well-being, and access the services, so that because it's available, right? We have social workers throughout the service. We have here in Tobago as well. So sometimes I think one of the challenges, and it's not limited to police, but I think as a country is that, especially when it comes to mental health, is that we trivialize it. It's taboo to seek help, especially when it comes to speaking to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. That is considered taboo. And as a result of that, some people shy away from accessing those services, especially, you would think that given that we are advancing so much, that people would readily access those services, but it still continues to be taboo. And I think that some of those services are underutilized.
Yeah, all right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Miss Officer Stewart-Duncan, for being on with us and for just giving us an idea what's going to be happening in the next few days.
Yes.
And we're definitely looking forward to Republic Day and to seeing our police, especially our women, seeing them out on parade on Sunday.
Yes. Yes.
So, all right. Thank you so much. And viewers, thank you for staying with us. And I hope you have a safe and wonderful day. Stay dry. I know the weather's kind of wet out there, but we need the wet. So it's been quite hot the last few days. So you welcome the bitter rain. But I will see you again tomorrow.
60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people.